Hello, how are you? Today, I'm going to tell you about a mixture of simple ingredients that many people are using before breakfast to help control blood pressure, clean the arteries, and improve circulation. I'll tell you what this mixture is, how to make it the right way, and what science says about it. You're going to love this video. Stay until the end. You won't want to miss it. Before we start, I want to ask you if you have any blood pressure problems. Do you have the habit of checking your blood pressure? What was the last blood pressure reading you took? Write it for me down here in the comments. I would love to see your comment. If you can, go ahead and leave a like on the video. That's really important to me. It shows YouTube that you support the channel and that you trust my content. If you know someone who is struggling to improve their blood pressure, share this video. Let's expand our chain of kindness. This mixture is truly wonderful and easy for you to make, which is to mix water, garlic, and lemon. Each of these ingredients has its own power and reason for being included when we think about blood pressure. Starting with the base, of course, which is garlic, right? When we think about blood pressure, we often think of garlic, and garlic contains sulfur compounds, such as allicin, for example, which really act within our bodies. When we cut or crush garlic, a chemical reaction occurs in which the enzyme allinase comes into contact with alliin and transforms it into allicin. This gives it a great functional potential. But you notice that, before I explain why, you need to mash it. You have to crush or chop the garlic and wait a little while. Allicin isn't available instantly. You need to wait about 5 to 10 minutes for this conversion to happen. So ideally, before you make this shot, you should chop, mash, or crush the garlic, whatever you prefer, and wait 15 minutes before taking it, okay? Let it sit before mixing it with lemon and water. This is so that the allicin can actually form there. Allicin has a very interesting effect when it comes to blood pressure. The first of these is definitely its vasodilator effect. It helps relax the muscles of the blood vessels, mainly by increasing the bioavailability of nitric oxide, which is an essential molecule for keeping the vessels more dilated and more flexible. And when the vessel is more relaxed, the blood flows more easily and the pressure increases, right? It's like a hose with more or less water. The water pressure increases, and inside the vessels, it's as if it were a closed system, just the same. So the idea is basically the same. Besides that, garlic can also help by inhibiting a specific enzyme, which is the angiotensin-converting enzyme, which is also closely related to blood pressure. This enzyme is particularly interesting because it is the same enzyme that several blood pressure medications are designed to inhibit as part of their mechanism of action. When the enzyme is more active, the body produces more angiotensin II, causing blood vessels to contract and blood pressure to rise. By reducing this activity, garlic can help bring that blood pressure down. I'm not trying to say that it will have the same effect as the medication. Of course, the medication is much stronger, but it works on the same principle, okay? Just so you understand. Another important point is the antioxidant effect. This oxidative process damages the vessel wall, the endothelium. So when the endothelium doesn't function well, the vessels lose their ability to dilate properly to allow blood flow to be lower, more fluid. And the compounds in garlic, since they can help protect this layer, can help improve vascular function. And in practice, this means that garlic acts on several mechanisms at the same time. It relaxes the vessels, improves the vessel walls, reduces the action of substances that increase blood pressure, and still contributes to reduce the low-grade chronic inflammation in our bodies, which is often associated with increased blood pressure. So, this isn't just theory. Some studies have already shown that regular consumption of garlic can reduce blood pressure by around 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury in some people, especially those who already suffer from high blood pressure. For some people, this can be a very significant reduction. As I told you, this mixture is made of 3 ingredients. The first is garlic, the second is lemon, and it's quite interesting because it helps cut a bit of the garlic taste. That's also why it's included. But obviously, it's also because of its bioactive compounds, right? We know that lemon is very rich in vitamin C and flavonoids, especially hesperidin, iriocitrin, and diosmin, which play a very important role in the health of blood vessels as well. The vitamin C, for example, we already know that it is closely related to collagen production in our body, and collagen is essential for maintaining the structure and elasticity of blood vessels and arteries. When blood vessels are more elastic, they can adapt better to these pressure variations, and this helps reduce the strain on the cardiovascular system. In addition, flavonoids have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects, and this ends up being fundamental. Because oxidative stress damages the endothelium, the vessel wall, and when this endothelium is compromised, the vessels lose their ability to dilate properly. You can increase the risk of high blood pressure. It's somewhat like when you compare it to a hose. When the hose is drier, stiffer, the rubber is hard, but when it's more flexible, softer, the pressure inside is lower. Some of these compounds, also present in lemon, seem to improve the bioavailability of nitric oxide. That is, they also help the blood vessel to relax, in a similar way to what we mentioned earlier in the case of garlic. So they end up acting synergistically in a complementary way. In practice, lemon acts more as a protector of the cardiovascular system. It helps keep blood vessels healthy, reduces inflammation, and contributes to a more favorable metabolic environment. And there's also the matter of the taste. As I mentioned to you, it really helps to cut that stronger flavor of garlic. So it makes the palatability of this drink more pleasant for people who say, "Oh my God, garlic, I can't handle it." The lemon cuts through it and makes it easier for you to consume. Of course, the base of this has to be a liquid, right? And the water used, many people like to use warm water here because it gives that momentary feeling of relaxation and comfort. This relaxation can also help keep your blood pressure under control. But there are people who hate warm water and can only drink it with cold water. So use the type of water that you actually enjoy drinking the most, the one you prefer and are most likely to drink consistently. Because that way, you'll be able to maintain consistency. And the most important thing when we think about these natural drinks is that we use them regularly, right? Like I told you, there's no point in taking it one day and thinking that's going to solve everything forever, or thinking that taking it one day gives you a free pass so you don't have to take care of your health, of everything, as I've already told you before. So the amount of water is also an important point for us to talk about, because often people say, "I'll just take a shot that's more concentrated." It won't make any difference in terms of effectiveness or nutritional benefits, whether you take it with a sip of water or with about half a cup of water. On the contrary, actually, the more water we drink, the better we can control blood pressure because it stimulates diuresis more, helping to eliminate excess fluid. So if you can, not because of the taste, even though sometimes it's harder to drink with more water, it would actually be even more beneficial for you. I know that sometimes drinking about 2 cups of water at once can be difficult, especially because early in the morning on an empty stomach, it can be a lot of volume. But try to find a middle ground, right? A small amount will make it much more acidic, much stronger because of the garlic. So maybe a little more water could be the ideal option for you. It's worth remembering that many things can harm our blood pressure, right? Excess sodium, excess sugar, too many ultra-processed foods, extreme sedentary behavior, not just being sedentary, but physical inactivity. Nowadays, a lot of people spend 30 or 40 minutes at the gym, but then spend the rest of the day completely sedentary, sitting at work, sitting in front of the TV, or staring down at their phones. So this issue of keeping the body active, of having better circulation, makes it easier to manage blood pressure. Reducing stress is also a key factor, as is getting good quality sleep. So remember, it's not just about taking a shot, a drink, but also avoiding what raises your blood pressure is essential. So how do you make this drink that's become so trendy lately? You need to crush a clove of garlic and wait about 10 to 15 minutes for that allicin conversion I mentioned to happen. After that, add the juice of half a lemon or a quarter, depending on your taste, and pour in a glass of water, using whatever amount you're comfortable drinking. The important thing is that you also manage to eat the garlic, okay? So crush it with a garlic press, chop it up so you can swallow the garlic like a pill. Just pinch your nose and down it all, because the little pieces of garlic are important too, right? It's different from garlic water, which takes longer. I actually have a video explaining more about it, about garlic tea. I'll leave it down below in the description for you. Important things to tell you: if you have gastritis or reflux, this might be too harsh on your stomach, especially first thing in the morning. One option is to take it after breakfast or after lunch. It can help you just the same. And it's also important for us to understand the context, right? That this effect happens with continuous use. It's not like you'll take it one day and see a result. And it's still less significant than the impact of lifestyle changes, diet, weight, physical exercise, and so on. So like I said, this drink can help you as a complement, but it's not miraculous. It can be a good idea to add it to your daily routine, as long as you also do the other things to help your body function better. I have a playlist with tips to improve blood pressure, heart health, and arteries. I'll leave it down here. In these playlists, there are tips on diet, lifestyle, recipes, so I'll leave it down here to help you. Another point is, if you already take medication for blood pressure, anticoagulants, antihypertensives, garlic can enhance these effects. So ideally, if you already have any health problems or take any medication, talk to your doctor or your nutritionist first to check the best time, the amount, the dosage, to see whether you should take it or not, right? Ideally, we should always have personalized guidance. Remember that this video is for informational purposes only. Now tell me, do you also like these more natural ideas, things we do every day, and that bring results in the medium and long term? Or do you prefer to go straight to medication? How does that work for you? I'd love to see your comment. Remember, this does not replace medication. I don't know if this was confusing here, but that's not the idea at all. Leave a like on the video, it really helps me out. And share it with someone you think will enjoy it, or someone who could benefit from it. Let's grow this chain of kindness. That's what I want here on the channel. See you next time, bye.